In last week's video, I spoke about the role of children in the soul family and how they can only be karmic or soulmate plus karmic. If you haven't watched last week's video, I will link it down below for you to watch first before you move on to this one, so that this week's video makes more sense. Today, we're going to talk about why twin flames do not have children together. This was a requested video by many of you. If you have any topics that you would like me to discuss, please leave me a comment down below and I will create content for you. And also, please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if this video resonates with you. As we talked about in last week's video, having children is completely egoic. This isn't a judgment, it's just a fact. We have to remember that utilizing the ego is not a bad thing. We're never trying to, nor can we ever fully destroy the ego, because then we'd be going through life brain dead, which is not the goal. When we talk about ego degradation and dismantling the ego, it's so the ego is not the driving force in our lives, but rather utilized as the tool that it was meant to be. Every choice we make, every emotion we feel, every word we speak is utilizing ego. It's just about whether we can become non-attached to the fluctuations of the mind and its perceptions. But when we speak about twin flames, the ego, as we know from many of my other videos, is not in the driver's seat at first. The ego is confused because the ego in this body has never come across the type of universal remembrance energy that twin flames show us. Twin flames not only cultivate incredible self-love within the self, but also make us remember that we are the universe manifested in physical form. The ego, at the end, has nothing to do with the twin flame journey. Yes, when we're in separation from the twin, our ego goes a little haywire. This is because the ego is currently being used as the driving force to our lives. So we obsess, we ruminate, we long for, we online stalk, we notice synchronicities, we dream about, we allow the mind to take over and run our lives. There's a line in the song Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier that says, "Don't you ever tame your demons, but always keep them on a leash." I feel like this is the perfect line to sum up the ego. We don't want to sublimate the ego and create trauma responses, but we do want to learn to keep the thoughts and emotions and anxiety and depression and volatility of the mind in control. We hold the leash. We decide when we want the ego to wander, and we become non-attached to the ego stopping to urinate on a tree. When we go back into reunion with the twin, our ego may have some trauma responses. And it is at this point that we may think, oh, if I could just marry the twin and have kids with them, they would stop running. Nope. Wouldn't work that way, unfortunately. This concept is the same as trying to manifest with the ego instead of aligning with what already is. The ego doesn't control manifestation, and it doesn't control the twin flame journey. Come on, you know that. I'm going to throw this concept at you, and I want you to sit with it for a while. Any lessons you are shown with a twin flame are not new. They are old lessons you haven't surpassed yet. For example, if you're with a twin who enters into a third-party relationship behind your back, chances are you've dealt with this before. You've dealt with learning to put up boundaries for yourself. You've dealt with cheating. You've dealt with abandonment. You've dealt with gaslighting. There is nothing new that is being pointed out to you in which you're like, ah, shit, here's a new lesson I need to learn. With this knowledge, when we look at children being either karmic or soulmate plus karmic, there is no way for new karmic lessons to be created by twin flames. And children are new lessons because you, as their parents, are instilling their core karmic lessons into their egos. Twin flames don't create new karmic lessons. Twin flames remember that they are the universe manifested in physical form, go through whatever ego degradations they need to, and learn the lessons they've had a hard time learning in this incarnation, but already knew about. Twin flame energy is simply a 3D projected image of yourself in a physical representation standing in front of you in order to remind you who you are and what you are. There's not going to be a manifestation of new egos in new incarnations as children, because if you've truly met your twin flame in this life, you're going to remember and feel that there is no separation between anything except discerned by ego. And with that remembrance comes calming of the ego and non-attachment, not newly created maternal or paternal attachments. At the end of this video, I'm going to point something out to you as well that you may not have realized. If you have a twin flame and you already have children prior to meeting or after meeting or vice versa, this is not uncommon. Children are there for a reason. They are there to shake up the lessons that you need to learn but haven't. They are there to end relationships that should have ended a while ago. They are there to tie you to a relationship in which you were meant to learn something important but still haven't. They are there to form a soulmate bond to move their egos through this incarnation softer. They are there to make you grow and expand and not be stagnant. They are there to show you that another ego saying that they love you doesn't really have anything to do with how you feel about your own core karmic lesson. Children are there to teach lessons because they are karmic or soulmate plus karmic. But when it comes to children, unless you have mastered non-attachment to egoic programming and societal values, you will always have attachment to them. Twin flames being together do not create egoic attachments to things together. They help to create non-attachment if you pay attention to what's going on energetically. I'm sure some of you right now are thinking, wow, Alex is saying I shouldn't care so much about my kids. No, that's not what I'm saying. Non-attachment is completely different than detachment or coldness. And if you want to understand non-attachment more, I have a series on my website about it called Non-Attachment and Union. What I'm saying is that twin flames will not create egoic attachments by having children together, because a twin flame journey is about non-attachment, submission, and union with the self. Twin flames will not create new karmic lessons together, but instead heal the ones they already have. And twin flames will not have children together, which is egoic, because the twin flame journey transcends ego and body. But finally, I put something to you this way. How many of you met your twin flame or were actually with your twin at a point in your life in which you could not have children, already had as many children as you wanted, or never wanted children at all? I'm going to say 90% of you who are truly on a twin flame journey, if not more. And that's how divine timing works. Until next week, all of my best and highest vibrations to you.